Week 12 of the 2024-25 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back, NBA Week in Review. I'm Jose Salviati, editor at thepeachbasket.net, and this is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. We start with the only objective overall top 10 NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thepeachbasket.net. Let's take a look at the top 10 at the conclusion of week number 12. Only one team drops out of the top 10 this week. That unfortunate designation belongs to the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs were 1-3 in week 12, which meant a drop of 5 spots to number 14. Debuting in the top 10 this season are the suddenly hot Indiana Pacers. Took longer than I imagined they would have liked, but they finally may have figured things out in Indiana. They were a perfect 3-0 in week 12 to move to number 10, up 3 spots from number 13 last week. Dropping to number 9 after 1-3 week are the Orlando Magic. They dropped 1 spot and are hanging on to a top 10 position. The Denver Nuggets, who we will bring up again and again today, were 2-1 in week 12, which was enough to see them jump up 2 spots from number 10 last week to number 8 this week. The LA Clippers continue to hang on at number 7 despite an 0-2 week. They are number 7 for the 3rd week in a row. The New York Knicks were 1-2 and held on to the number 6 spot, also for the 3rd week in a row. Number 5 belongs to the Memphis Grizzlies again. They were 2-1 in week 12 and seemed comfortable at number 5. This is their 6th week in a row at that position. The perfect Houston Rockets are next. They were 3-0 in week number 12, but they can't seem to move up in the power rankings because the teams above them are just that good. They sit at number 4 for the 7th week in a row. The number 3 best team in the association are the defending world champion Boston Celtics. They were 1-2 in week 12, but that losing record did not cost them. They remain at number 3 for the 5th week in a row. The top 2 teams in the association are from different conferences. They met in week 12 with the number 1 team earning the W. The loss in that game went to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They remain the best in the West, but behind the best overall. They come in at number 2 for the 5th week in a row. The best team in the East and in the association are once again the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just continue to roll. They were once again perfect this week. They beat everyone to go 3-0 in week 12 and hold the number 1 spot for a staggering 9th straight week. That's the objective top 10 list for week number 12. If you want to see where all 30 teams land this week, please visit thepeachbasket.net. Now let's shift our focus to the players. These are the best to do it by average in week number 12 of the 2024-25 NBA season. These are the best by average, meaning shooting, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, points, and game score. Nikola Jokic. Get used to that. Nikola Jokic played in only 1 game in week 12, but man, did he make the most of it. His 35 points in that game against the Nets was enough to claim the top spot, making him the best scorer in week number 12. But again, get used to the name that Joker wasn't done. Jordan Poole was a top sniper, averaging 6 3-point field goals made in his 1 game played, while Jokic, told you he wasn't done, was the best shooter with 14 total field goals made on average. Domantas Sabonis had a great week. He averaged 19.7 rebounds over his 3 games played in week number 12, which includes an impressive career high of 28 rebounds against the Celtics in Boston to lead his team to the win. Walker Kessler, the soon-to-be ex-Utah Jazz, maybe, most likely, possibly, was the best offensive rebounder, pulling down 6.5 offensive boards on average in his 4 games played, while Sabonis was the best defensive rebounder, averaging 14.3. Nikola Jokic, he's back again. The Nuggets center was the top assist man in the association in week 12, averaging 15 assists in week 12, and that should be the last we hear of him. We'll see. Victor Wembanyama was the top rim protector in the association in Week 12. He sent back 5.5 shots over his 2 games played. The top thief was Nikola Jokic. He not only had an impressive triple-double in his lone game in Week 12, he also had 4 steals. That was enough to lead everyone. This guy is amazing, and he does it all. And he does indeed do it all, since his game score of 43.8 was more than enough to lead everyone in Week 12. Nikola Jokic was the best player in the association in Week 12, and it wasn't even close. Looking ahead to Week 13, we have another matchup between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the Peach Basket's objective NBA overall power rankings. The number 1 Cleveland Cavaliers travel to Oklahoma City to take on the number 2 Thunder on Thursday, January 16th. Do the Cavs send a statement in OKC, or do the Thunder avenge their loss in Cleveland? This is a legitimate finals preview. It will be must-watch TV in week number 13 for all NBA fans. Cleveland, Oklahoma City, and everywhere else. That's going to be the game to watch. Now, as we look ahead to week number 13, outside of that spectacular game, there are a few news items trending. That includes the recent suspensions of Nikola Jokic in the brain. But he wasn't suspended. Fortunately, that was Zion Williamson and Jimmy Butler. The continuing criticism about the declining TV ratings for the NBA, with plenty of people speculating about the cause and solution for what is a real problem. Then there are always trade rumors this time of year floating around, and curiosity about the new format for the coming All-Star Game. So there's plenty of stuff trending, plenty of things to talk about. But the biggest news, not just in basketball, but overall, are the recent fires here in the LA area where I am based out of. As a result of the devastation, both the Lakers and the Clippers saw games postponed. Laker coach Jay Redick literally lost his home to a fire, which is something I can't wrap my head around. It didn't only happen to Redick, but it happened to a lot of other people. People without the means of a Jay Redick, people that I literally know. So it's been a devastating week in week 12. And as we look ahead to week 13, we want to look ahead with some hope. Coming back to Jay, he said his Lakers team, and they want to play. They want to give the people hope. And that's one of the special things about sports. They give people hope, even people whose lives are forever changed because of these fires. Now, I can understand why people who are not sports fans don't completely understand our obsession. They're just games after all, and the games don't really matter. We apply that matter to the game. They're just games. But sports has a way of helping, of healing. They take our mind off of difficult times. As some people in LA are going through one of the most difficult times in their lives. We don't need sports to get us through this, but we certainly welcome the diversion. With our thoughts on everyone impacted, we're excited to watch the game we love in week number 13. That's it. Week 12 of the 2024-25 NBA season is in the books. Join us again next week after week number 13 when we once again run it back.